13 years. That's not just a long wait. That's an entire generation of moviegoers growing up between sequels. When Avatar was released in 2009, it wasn't just another blockbuster. It became the highest grossing movie of all time, and still is to this day. It reshaped modern visual effects, made 3D a global phenomenon, and for a moment, it felt like cinema has evolved. And then, James Cameron himself disappeared. No rush sequel, no yearly franchise entries, no cinematic universe rollout, just silence and rumors. People joked that Avatar 2 would never happen. Some even claimed that the original had no crucial impact, a statement that would age incredibly poorly. Then, out of nowhere, in the year 2022, Avatar The Way of Water had finally arrived. Not just a sequel, but as a statement. A statement that James Cameron wasn't interested in catching up with Hollywood. He wanted to outpace it again. What's up, guys? My name is Nate Reviews, and in this video, I will be talking about the history and legacy of how much Avatar The Way of Water has captured many audiences, including myself. So without further ado, sit back, relax, enjoy the show as I take you on an exciting adventure through Pandora. Making it a sequel to the global successful Avatar might be the hardest task in the blockbuster industry. When that film came out in 2009, it revolutionized motion capture, changed how CGI characters were perceived, and rewrote box office records, created an entirely new world from scratch. Anything less groundbreaking would have been seen as a failure. James Cameron understood that pressure, which is why exactly The Way of Water took 13 years. And delay wasn't indecision, it was preparation. Cameron wasn't waiting for audiences. Audiences were waiting for him to show us what new in Pandora that would be shown to us, the fans. And all you're thinking, why they took 13 years? Well, I'm going to tell you that answer right now. One of the biggest misconceptions that Way of Water took so long because of indecision, or production trope and production stuff. The truth, that technology didn't exist. Cameron had ideas simply could be executed in 2009 or even 2012. Rather than compromise, he waited, and the process helped invent the tools needed to make the film possible. This was not just another Avatar movie. It was about redefining what modern filmmaking can do. The crown jewel of this movie was underwater performance capture, something no major blockbuster had ever accomplished this scale. Usually back then, when there were CG underwater scenes, they were faked. Actors were on wires, there were CGI water simulations, slow motion tricks. James Cameron rejected all of that and instead he gave us a bold new direction of how he wanted us. He developed a system where actors could perform fully underwater while still being motion captured for their Na'vi characters. The actors trained extensively on free diving, learning to breathe control, swimming techniques, underwater communication. And also, Kate Winslet, who previously worked with James Cameron on Titanic, returned her to do Avatar The Way of Water. She had famously held her breath for over 7 minutes, and that being Tom Cruise's record when he did Mission Impossible Rogue Nation for that underwater sequence. Really, congrats to Kate Winslet. Amazing actress she is. And why does this matter? Because movement in the underwater is very different. Gravity behaves differently. Bodies drift, gestures of motion, emotions conveyed through the motion rather than dialogue. And you can feel it. Every underwater scene in The Way of Water feels natural, weightless, and alive, not artificial on stage. As you know, Avatar was done with motion capture, so... And I previously explained my Avatar video what it is, but to recap, it's basically someone wears a black suit, they have these white dots in the face and the lights and the cameras, so the digital computer can capture the emotions and the facial expressions an actor and actress can have. A lot of video game companies do this, I've seen it a lot, and it's pretty immersive. And like the high frame rate in this movie is really fantastic. That James Cameron also continued to experiment with that high frame rate. Instead of traditional frames, 24 frames per second, certain action sequences are shown higher than frame rates to reduce motion blur, improve clarity, and enhance realism. And but whatever you like it or not, James Cameron once again refused to play it safe. He treated theaters like it's a place for innovation, not just consumption. In Way of Water, we are introduced to like a new tribe of like the Navis. Rather than returning to the forest of Pandora, we shift from like the forest itself to the natural oceans. We are then meet with the Metkaina clan. This decision does does something crucial. It proves that Pandora is bigger than just like one home. It's like a whole giant planet, like our world, but like a in a vast different universe. And I find that concept very fantastic of how it's made and shot. The Metka, the Metkayane are physically adapted to water with broader tails, strong arms, fin-like features, and a deep spiritual bond with the sea life. You know, kind of like how mermaids and some sea creatures are, like some fantasy, something like that, but like in a combined new way that I find myself so deeply invested when I first saw this movie. Their cultures and the homes are and traditions shaped like the ocean. Pandora no longer feels like a single setting. It's like a living planet. And this expansion sets the stage for future films, including this week's movie, Fire and Ash. And unlike the first Avatar movie, which focused on discovery and colonization, this one is like a deep personal one. It's focused on Jake Sully, on his family, his newfound family, and from like a former Marine on Earth to like being permanently as a Navi. It shows him and the Tiris like they're trying to help their kids like adapt this new world, and it's just pretty amazing of the acting from Sam Worthington and Zoe Saldana as those characters. The film explores protecting your children, the cost of leadership, fear versus responsibility, and what it means to pass away of life. And it just shows a journey that Jake Sully goes on. And I just really enjoy of how much acting it's done. And and the themes of The Way of Water, when the RDA does return, it shows like man versus nature again. Like kind of like how it's going on in the real world. I feel like it's just like adapt like the realism of things. Like the humans are the bad guys trying to take over, trying to disrupt the Navi's life. It's just intense. And when humanity returned to Pandora, it feels more aggressive, more desperate, and more destructive before. The stakes are high because now there's more to lose. The film makes it clear Pandora's not done being threatened, and Jake Sully's not done fighting. And even if his old empty coordinates does return, even if it looks like a new version, Jake will not stop fighting until he and the RDA just like stopped invading Pandora permanently. And that's a real honor from Jake Sully. Props to that. And people have been wondering, was the 13-year wait a risk worth it? It was absolutely, but Way of Water proves something modern rare in Hollywood. Sometimes Way makes something better. Instead of rushing sequel to meet deadlines, Cameron ensured that when Avatar returned, it would feel like once again lead the industry rather than follow it. The visuals didn't just match modern blockbusters; they surpassed them. This sets us, and as of today, the brand new Avatar movie Fire and Ash set to come out, and it's like set things up. We are showing like new characters, new cultures and biomes, and a deep and darker movie that I've been hearing about Avatar Fire and Ash. And I am so excited to see how this movie will be caught up in my perspective when I go see Avatar Fire and Ash myself. And it will just be fantastic to watch. In my conclusion, Avatar Fire and Ash didn't need to prove Avatar was irrelevant. It proved that Avatar was ahead of its time all along. 13 years later, James Cameron didn't just deliver a sequel. He delivered a reminder what cinema has been when ambition, technology, and storytelling align. And now, Fire and Ash ignites the next chapter, and one thing's clear. Pandora's story is far from over. If you enjoyed this deep dive, hit that like button, subscribe to Day Reviews, and let me know in the comments. Was Way of Water worth the wait? And what are you most excited to see on Fire and Ash? Until next time, I'll see you on Pandora.